Deadline is drawing close for GMR Infra. The Maldives government, remember, has ordered the Indian company to vacate the Male Airport following the sudden cancellation of its contract, which GMR had won in 2010 after a global bidding process. Now, this is part of a wider drive into the island nation by the government to undo much of what its predecessors had initiated. Here's GMR Infra in a press conference.
Briefing from GMR regarding the Male International Airport. Without any ado, I would like to quickly move into what we want to do today. The objective of today's presentation, of course, is that you are well aware that Government of Maldives has arbitrarily cancelled the contract with GMR. There have been many misrepresentation, wrong information floating around in public domain, and India's media has been quoting these without the GMR side of the story. We wanted to ensure that the story is very clearly brought out, the facts and figures are very clearly brought out before the press. Therefore, the objective of today's meet is to present to you some of the facts and figures which are very important for everybody to be understood. We have put together a media pack which you must have got, and this media pack contains a GMR dossier. It's a colored booklet. It also gives the chronology of events of the entire bidding process. There is a printout of IFC's success story regarding Male Airport privatization. This is from a link from their website where they have put up how successful the privatization effort and process was. There is a letter from the World Bank President to Mr. GM Rao, the Group Chairman of the GMR Group, highlighting the process being followed absolutely transparently with full governance and assuring support during this period. There is also a letter from the Vice President of IFC on behalf of the World Bank to GMR. There is a Attorney General opinion regarding the concession documents, which was provided to us immediately after the entire documents were signed. There is this presentation which we are making today, which will be sent to you by email. And there is a fact sheet which is rebutting allegations by Dr. Hassan Saeed, who is the special advisor to the President of Maldives, in his book and in a letter to the Prime Minister. This will also be sent to you by email. As I said, that the agenda is to highlight some of the issues which have been floating around, which are incorrect, which are myths, and we want to quickly, firstly I want to quickly highlight the background. As you are aware that Maldives government had appointed IFC to run a tender process for the concessioning of the airport in 2010. IFC Washington was the lead transaction advisor. IFC Washington is a member of the World Bank. It has huge experience in privatization. It has offices in more than 80 countries. It has advised the government of Saudi Arabia, Jamaica, Jordan, etc. in privatization efforts. And IFC was responsible for the developing, marketing and conducting the entire bidding process for Male International Airports. Because of IFC's involvement, GMR got encouraged to participate in the bid process, because typically GMR does not participate in one-to-one transactions. Wherever there is a bid process, we would like to be present and participate. And this bid process was, because of IFC's involvement, was a process which we felt was, which will ensure governance, transparency and fairness. IFC ensured that the bid was fair and credible through various initiatives. They had a number of international advisors like ENY, who as a financial consultant, Halcro as a master planner, Guide Laureate as the legal advisor, etc. as part of the bid process. 6 consortiums evinced interest in the pre-bids, which included Reliance and Airport South Africa, Zurich, ADP, TAV, Vienna, and GMR and MHB consortium. The bid process was conducted very, very transparently. There was a legal evaluation, there was a technical evaluation, and finally there was a financial evaluation. If one did not pass the legal evaluation, he was disqualified. The second step was the technical evaluation, which if they failed, again they were disqualified. And finally, the financial bids of the final bidders who had qualified the earlier two steps were opened, and the winner was the one who gave the highest financial bid. The bid process lasted 9 months, starting from October 2009 and ending with the signing of the concession agreement in June 2010. I will not go through line-by-line details of the process. It is there as part of the media kit. What I would like to highlight is that in the final race, there were 3 consortiums left: the GMR and MEHB consortium, the Airport de Paris and TAV consortium, and GVK and Zurich. This was the percentages which were quoted by each of the bidders. The GMR MEHB consortium quoted the highest bid value of $529 million, which is there on the last column, as compared to 483, which is that of ADP and TAV, and 280, which was that of GVK and Zurich. The bid of TAV is the operator of the Istanbul Ataturk Airport. It's a TAV, it's a company based in Turkey. None of the 3 bidders were Maldivian companies. None of the members of the consortium were Maldivian. GMR, after winning the bid, they took over the airport a number of months, 4 months in advance, against the target which was given in the concession document of March of 2011. GMR MEHB consortium took over the airport in November of 2010 after completing the financial closure. Now, coming on to some of the key issues, this was the background about the entire bid process. It was conducted very transparently with full governance and a great deal of fairness. The first issue which I think we want to clarify is that deducting ADC from the concession fee is frustrating the contract, and hence they are cancelling the contract. The background to this is that in December of 2011, the civil court in Maldives ruled that the implementation of ADC without ratification of the parliament is inconsistent with the Maldivian constitution. After this ruling, GMR undertook the option of having ADC bill passed by the parliament. At that point, when the court had ruled, there were 2 options. Either you appeal against this ruling and go to a higher court in Maldives, or you request the government that you go to the parliament and get the bill passed so that ADC can be charged. Based on assurances from the government at that point of time, GMR accepted the option that fine, we will let the parliament approval happen, and till the time this approval happens, the government of Maldives committed to us that you can go and offset what losses you will incur because of not charging ADC against the revenue share which is payable to the Maldivian airport company. This letter came from the Maldivian airport company. It was also ratified by the government of Maldives. And as per the concession, investor has the right to adjust ADC payments against the concession fee till implementation. While GMR has proposed to waive off ADC for Maldivian citizens, government of Maldives has not yet presented the bill to the parliament. It's been almost 11 months, and we have been requesting the government of Maldives that please get the approval for charging of ADC, which will be beneficial for both the government of Maldives as well as GMR. Today, the charge which was supposed to be paid by the passenger is not being charged on the passenger. It is in fact a charge which is getting effected on the Maldivian airport company, and that can cease as soon as the parliament passes the bill and we can restart the charge from the passengers. The ADC was supposed to be charged from all departing international passengers, which included Maldivians. We, on our own accord, proposed to the government of Maldives that we understand that this charge can be a burden on Maldivians, so we were ready to waive off this charge for Maldivian citizens when they travel abroad. And that proposal is lying with the government. We have not yet heard on that. And this was a proposal given so that the burden on Maldivians is not there.
Siddharth, if I can come in for a bit here. I think this is the central issue of the whole cancellation of the agreement. The government is saying that since we are not able to since GMR is not able to collect the ADC, therefore it is deducting this ADC from the concession fee payments, which is true. But they are covering this up and saying, what is the solution for this issue today? They are saying cancellation is the solution. Now let's take a step back. What is ADC? ADC is nothing but a charge given by the government to all the bidders and operators, in place of another charge which was already there for several years. It is called Passenger Service Charge, PSC. It was collected by the government, by MACL actually. Then when the bidding happened, government gave that charge to the treasury and said, okay, we'll replace this PSC by ADC, just another name. Under the same bill, another name. So the court said, okay, you can't put ADC without getting it approved in the Majlis, the parliament. Now government has all the authority to put that bill, which is called Passenger Service Charge Act, put that bill under which ADC can become legal, can become, GMR can charge to the foreign passengers. They have all the authority to at least table the bill in the parliament and get it approved. Now they are balking from that. They are not going ahead and doing that. On the other hand, the finance minister just said that we will increase the passenger service charge, which is still there, and under the same act, we'll increase that passenger service charge from 18 to 30. Now to increase that, they will have to take the same bill to the parliament, which they are not doing today, and they're not passing the ADC. Under the same bill, they have all the authority. They are proposing to do that themselves and charge the 18 and increase the 18.5, which is the passenger service charge, to 30. Now this is the whole issue, because they are saying we can't charge ADC, therefore we cancel the agreement because we are frustrated. The point is they can easily remedy that, and it is only a political issue that they are creating out of it, only an excuse they are creating out of it, saying that because we are not able to charge, therefore we are not getting any money, therefore cancel the agreement.
Right. Thank you, Saurabh. I think as ADC is definitely one of the very critical issues, and this is an issue which is currently in arbitration in Singapore courts. Moving on, Maldivian government is making huge losses due to the contract. I think this is another myth, and it is also coming from the fact that ADC is currently being adjusted against the revenue share which is paid to the government of Maldives. If you see from this slide that even after offsetting ADC losses in 2012, GMR has paid much more than what MACL used to pay the government of Maldives. The figures in blue, the bars in blue, highlight the fact that what has been paid by the Maldivian airport company to the government of Maldives. While the bars in blue highlight what GMR, the GMR airport company, has paid to the government of Maldives to the airport company. And you can see the vast difference. You can see the huge upside which is coming out of the privatization effort, and this upside is coming because of the privatization. Third issue, concession. Third issue, the concession agreement is void ab initio and is against the Maldivian laws. I think this is a myth which is floating around in the public domain. It is very critical to highlight that this is absolutely incorrect. The Attorney General at that point of time, at the time of handover, has ratified. There is an opinion which is also part of the media kit that has ratified that the entire contracts which were entered into as part of the concession were legally valid. And in fact, let me quote from here that accordingly, I am of the opinion, I is the Attorney General of the government of Maldives. I am of the opinion that the project document and the lease agreement have been duly authorized, executed, delivered and ratified by all necessary corporate and governmental action. They do not require any further authorization, consent, license, exemption or waiver. Do not violate any provision of the Constitution of the Republic of Maldives or any law, regulation, rule or decree of the Republic of Maldives. Will constitute binding obligations of the government of Maldives in accordance with the terms and conditions set out in the project document and the lease documents. Now, a very clear certification given by the independent Attorney General of the government of Maldives was done at that point of time. So naturally, there cannot be any question of the agreement being void ab initio, and a statement being made that this contract did not exist. It is not supposed to exist. Fourth issue, GMR deal was corrupt and was signed under dubious circumstances. This is another misconception which is floating around in the public. In December 10, the Maldives Anti-Corruption Commission concluded that the whole process of bidding process has undergone on a professional basis. See, typically in Maldives, any major contract, after it is completed, it goes to the Anti-Corruption Commission for vetting. And this was also done as far as the GMR contract is concerned. And this report is available. It is also part of the media kit. And this has very clearly highlighted, the extract is here. Since 2008, the revenue of MACL, this is the conclusion of this report, the revenue of MACL has gone down significantly. Considering 2008 dividend revenue to remain the same for the next 25 years, when discounting the revenues at 10%, the present value is identified as $121 million. That is the net present of dividends which MACL could possibly pay to the government of Maldives. MACL is the government Maldivian airport company. That works out to $121 million. In GMR's bid, the figures indicated as the expected revenue to be generated considered to be remaining the same for the next 25 years. When discounted again at the same 10%, the present value is identified as $973.91 million. This is again a report of the Anti-Corruption Commission, which is an independent body of the government of Maldives. Therefore, on a concession basis, by handing the airport's management, the government will be able to gain a greater financial gain. Let me go to the report of the government of Maldives, of the ACC. I would, yeah, can you please? I would also like to highlight the ultimate conclusion that though there are some minor issues in the technical bid evaluation, as I said that there was a technical bid, there was a legal bid, there are some minor issues of technical bid evaluation. This I am quoting from the report, which does not affect the outcome of the result. The whole process of the bidding has undergone on highest standards. This is the conclusion of the Anti-Corruption Commission of Maldives. Fifth, collusion of IFC, Halcro and GMR consortium during the bid process. I think this is something which has been being thrown in the public domain by various vested interests. Dr. Hassan Saeed, Special Advisor to the President, has made allegations that IFC has business interests with GMR. IFC is a World Bank body, an independent, venerated body. IFC is setting up an SEZ in 250 acres of land in Hyderabad. Halcro came up with a plan that totally fitted in with the approach of GMR. These are the allegations which have been thrown at GMR. The reality is that GMR Group or any of its group companies has got no financial exposure from IFC. They have no commercial relationship with IFC. Dr. Saeed has got mixed up with International Finance Corporation with an International Finance Center, which is also called IFC, which is being developed at Hyderabad Airport. The IFC, which in Hyderabad is actually an International Finance Center, which we are proposing, and it has got mixed up with that IFC with the International Finance Corporation. The Halcro master plan was developed much before the bidding process started and was shared with all the bidders during the RFP. So it is not being tailored or created for GMR. It has been very much part of the bid process. It was available as part of the pre-bid documents and based on which all the bidders bid. So Halcro has not created something very specifically for GMR.
If I can just come in for a minute. I think...
All right, that's Siddharth Kapoor, who's the CFO of the Airports Division of the GMR Group, clarifying GMR's stand on the development of the Male International Airport, and you're sort of listing out point by point all the allegations made by the Maldivian government and explaining GMR's stand on all of those issues. The stock as we speak is up roughly 3% at just under 20 rupees. We're going to take a quick break on the show. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Jagannath and Tunuguntla of SMC Capital.